Look at this poor fella. He's so beaten up and he's got a nice big open sore.
Hi, Mr. Bodangles. How are you? How's your... Hi, honey. Don't be scared. See his back? He was in a fight with the raccoon. And the raccoon won, and now he had to relocate his home. He does not live... Hi, honey. He used to live underneath the house over there, underneath their deck, but the raccoon took that over ever since the other house, that house right here was demolished. Well, the raccoon went and took Mr. Bodangles' house. Now Mr. Bodangles has moved. Hey, good boy. Eat your coconut oil. It'll help your healing. Okay? Good boy. He's such a good boy. As you can see, I'm still in the same location. I'm quite content because there's nobody on my right, there's nobody on my left, there's nobody in front. There's people behind on weekends now, but I can't see them, they can't see me. The people across, they're here on weekends in the cabana, but now that they're in the cabana, the van blocks it so I can't see them, they can't see me. Not to mention the convenience, that's what's gotten me into this comfort zone too, of a fridge, a toilet, and even though I have my 100-watt solar panel, foldable, portable solar panel that gives me my electricity now if the sun is out, it won't power my Keurig. So I've been using electricity for my Keurig, and so you see, if I was just to venture out more often, I wouldn't have the temptation of two of my three habits. I wouldn't have the internet, and I wouldn't have electricity to power my Keurig, you see? So there's two of my habits eliminated right there. But I'm so content here. I don't even want to venture out, really, because of the price of gas too. And I can come up with 1,000,001 other excuses, but I'm not going to, because I want to tell you a story. It's got to do with my trust, or I should say my lack of trust, you know, with mainly humanity. But anyways, I've been working on that, and so I thought, you know what, I better start interacting with people a little bit more, and so that I can, you know, see how that goes. So the universe, you know, sent me a little test, and I think I kind of failed it, but nonetheless, here it is. So I've been hanging around here, you know, I got laundry done, I got all my bedding cleaned, all my sheets, I should say, pillowcases, everything's all cleaned, and firewood. I was given by the owners of this place a whole bunch of firewood because nobody's going to be using it and nobody has been using it. And so he wanted to get rid of it because it was leaning up against the back of the cottage, and he asked them neighbors over there if they wanted it, and they said yes. But I was coming out of my van as they were hauling it over there, and he asked me if I would like some, and of course I said yes. And not only did I accept it, but I offered to help. And the faster I was in, you know, hauling the wood, the more I got, greedy as that may sound, but that's what I did. So when I was helping them haul the wood, they had a friend who they hired over there to paint their house for them. So when I was helping them bring the wood over here, well, I got talking to him and everything like that, and it was just small talk basically, or so I thought. Anyways, fast forward, I'm watching the excavator dig out the ditch here. They were here for about a day and a half doing just that. I was wondering why they were doing it, but I found out it's because they're making a drive so that you can get from the neighbor's drive over, cut across into this drive, and that is because the city plows this driveway because it's got multiple cottages on here, but on that one it's privately owned, so they have to hire somebody to plow the drive, and so I imagine that's why they did this. So it was around 6 p.m. I had the vans closed, and I hear a little knock on the van. Hello? Well, it's the guy that's painting this cottage right here. He says, I have something for you. So I said, just a minute. So I'm psyching myself to open the door, thinking that this, can't be good. But anyways, I opened the door, and he's got his, like a paper, rolled up paper that he would use to tape up the windows so that he doesn't paint the windows. So he had that paper rolled up, and he offered it to me saying that he thought, I could use this to sketch. And right away, I knew that was just an excuse, like, geez, red flags, these signals just start going off in my head and everything. And so I stepped out of the van, and I came over to this right here to talk with him for a second, just to be polite. And right away, I can see that I'm not picking up what his intentions are, but I'm not picking up good signals and everything. And so after talking to him for about 15, 20 minutes, and I did mention right away, it came up that quickly that I am not in a relationship, and nor do I want to be in a relationship by choice, because I'm working on healing my wounded inner child. And yes, I said it like that. I have no concern about what he thinks about that, but I made it clear. And so it wasn't shortly after I told him about that he tells me, oh, that's okay, I'm married. But he has no ring on or whatever. And so I asked him why not. And he says, well, I just never wear it and whatever. And definitely wasn't getting good vibes from him. But anyways, so it wasn't that long into the conversation, maybe a half an hour, that he he asked me if I want to go have a look inside of the cottage there. And the irony is that just a few days prior to this, I had asked the person that his family used to live in this about 50 years ago. His family used to live in there before he was even born. So I asked him if he knew the layout of the cottage, and he didn't answer, so I'm assuming he didn't. But anyways, it was just, by the whole conversation was just, let off course, and I never got the answer. So I'm thinking, well, I put that out into the universe, and this is the universe answering me. So I'm like, okay, even though my gut was telling me no, but because there were, at this time, it was Sunday, and there was about 6 to 8, maybe more, right there in the other yard over there. They had company. They had a bunch of people over because they were putting their their boat rack in the water. So they had help. So there was people all over. Like I said, because there was so many people, I thought it was okay. And against my better judgment, I went in, and because I was really curious and my curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to take them off on the offer, and I went inside the cottage there. Now, when you walk in, it's all one big open concept. It's like the kitchen, dining room, and living room. And over to the right, it was like a bedroom, and then there was like this wall. But behind that wall, you go around, and there's like a bathroom and a little corridor that goes into another bedroom. So I'm going into the other bedroom. Again, I go against my gut. As soon as I started walking in towards there, I got these red flags again, and like, danger kind of thing. But still, I went against my own gut feeling, and I walked into the bedroom. I kind of was looking around. I noticed the beautiful view because you can see the river. And so I was kind of like admiring that. I turned around, and when I turned around, he was blocking the doorway entrance. So right away, my heart started going really, really fast, and I just went into the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Now, I went into the freeze, to be honest. I froze right away, and then right away I started fawning, and I don't want to piss him off. So he's seen my expression, like he can see that I was really scared, obviously, but it didn't even faze him. he just looks at me with his arms up against the door frame there and blocking the doorway, and he looks at me and he says, you know, I really, really want to kiss you right now. And right away, I jump back so fast, like as if he kicked me like this. I just jump back with my hands up and I'm like, no, 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 no. Without even thinking. It was just spontaneous like that. It was like, oh, no, 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 no. And so right away, he backed off and he says, okay, see how I'm being a gentleman? And I'm thinking in my head, well, if you were a real gentleman, you wouldn't have done that in the first place. And but I didn't say anything. All like that's the fawning part of me. All I was thinking about next is to safely get out of the cottage. And this whole time my heart's going, and I no longer remember any of the conversation that we were having at this point because I was just wanting to get out of the cottage. And so that's what I did. As soon as I was able to pass him, he was rambling on about something, but it wasn't registering because I was just wanting to get out until I was out in the safety. I didn't even care what he had to say at this point. And at this point, if there was any chance of even a friendship, it was gone. Even though I was picking up on his intentions way before I decided to go in the cottage, and I was picking up on all of this. Like I picked up that he was not at all interested in my mind, or so anything I had to say, he wasn't interested. He was only looking at me as an object. And so his biggest goal was, you know, how can he manipulate or, you know, do whatever he has to do to get what he wants. And that's exactly what he wanted. So yeah, that's just like, to me, that's just, I have no room for people in my life that are like that. None at all. Like, he was willing to cheat on his wife, and he knew me for all of a half an hour. And you know, so basically that's just all based on my looks. So he had no idea what kind of a person I am or anything, and that didn't matter. So I couldn't care less if I ever see the whites of his eyes again. And that's the truth. But you know, the moral of the story is that I've got to listen to my gut. I got to listen to my intuition and really honor it, because I put myself in a very vulnerable situation, and even though it didn't turn out as bad as it could have, well, the possibilities were there, you know, they really, really were. And so, you know, I've got to really learn to say no, stick to standards in my boundaries, and not care about what other people think of that. That's honestly, that's, if I would have just said no thank you, and you know, and forget about the, you know, curiosity, because we all know what happened to the cat because of his curiosity, right? So yeah, that's what I think the lesson was, in that, you know, I have to really, really listen to my intuition, listen to that, my gut feeling, you know, and I knew right away. But anyways, yeah. So now I'm just really psyching myself up to go on these little day adventures, and expand it hopefully to 2 days adventures, and maybe 2, 3, 4 day adventures, and you know, maybe just come back here at night to sleep, and that way I can help wean off my addictions, you know, my habits, you know, and also get me out of this comfort zone that I'm in right now, you know. But as long as there, like I said, as long as there's nobody here, I don't feel the need to leave. Like, I'm content. I really, really am. But that's all that's been going on.